What's cooking, good looking? Get ready with me while I tell you about my journey, my recovery journey from being a pick-me. So first of all, in case you don't know what is a pick-me, it's sort of like a female version of a simp or whatever. A girl who will just bend over backwards to prove herself to be like low maintenance and not like the other girls, trying to like win the affection of a man or like men in general, winning like male approval, and being willing to just like completely abandon yourself. Just completely ignore your own boundaries because you're basically afraid that a man won't pick you or won't want to be with you if you're like too much work to be with. That's my definition of what a pick-me is. So, but I'm in recovery now, and I'm getting ready to go to the library and take care of some business. It's like 4:38 right now, and the library closes at 6, so I need to get ready. Now, I used to pride myself on being low maintenance, and I would never do anything like this before I left the house. I would just leave the house wearing whatever, messy hair, don't care, whatever type stuff. But I'm in a new era where I try to like, I don't know, just care about myself more. It's like not really for anyone else. I swear to God, these things are so slippery. Do they look good? Anyway, when I was younger, I would just like completely abandon all of my boundaries. My identity, just whatever, you know, just to have the approval of like a boyfriend or even male coworkers or friends or whatever. Because I didn't love myself. So this thing is fighting me. In case you're wondering, these are the Patchology Flash Patch Restoring Night Eye Gels. This is not sponsored, but I know you're supposed to put them on at night or whatever, but I didn't put them on last night, so I'm just gonna give my eyes a little bit of pick me up before I leave. I don't think I'm gonna do any makeup, but I am gonna straighten out my bangs. So, when did I realize I was a pick-me? Let's see, it was probably like circa 2022 when I first realized that I was in my late 30s, and I realized that like I had a dysfunctional life, and I started watching this YouTuber called Crappy Childhood Fairy, and she doesn't talk about pick-me stuff, but she does talk about emotional wounds and, you know, dating and stuff like that, and like why you might pick the wrong person. Like you might be like a serial bad picker, ignoring red flags and stuff like that. I identified a lot with that content, and then that ultimately led me to finding another YouTuber named Manifestel. She talked about like she talked about a lot of just girly things, you know, like dating men with red flags, all that stuff. And that was probably the first time I ever heard the word pick-me girl. And I think that it's like a callback to Grey's Anatomy, where the Meredith Grey character was like talking to Patrick Dempsey, like Dr. McDreamy or whatever. He was like, pick me, choose me, because I love you, and whatever. And like, I don't think he picked her. Because it's ultimately like self-defeating to be like that. Anyways, it's like an energy thing. Like if you're desperate for someone, like, they're not gonna pick you. Anyway, so I'm using my Lange, I don't know, hair straightener. I've had this thing for years. Again, not sponsored, but this is how I straighten my bangs. It works great. That was when I realized I was pick me. I was watching like Manifestel and then like the YV Edit also. She's on YouTube, but she's also on TikTok. She does some great stuff. Talking about like the patriarchy and how it like hurts people, men and women. How to break out of that mind control like programming that we get. It's like socialization, you know? And I realized that like I had some pretty strong like internalized misogyny, and that was why I was having so much trouble like in my adult life, partially because I had a traumatic childhood, but because like the messaging that I got as a child was that boys are the default, women are like a weaker version of men. It sucks to be a woman, and like nobody wants to be a woman, nobody wants to be paired up with the girl, nobody, you know, and like also don't be friends with other girls because bitches be crazy or whatever, you know? So it was just like a lot of bad stuff like that. And then my healing journey really started whenever I started listening to other women on social media, like Lisa on the YB Edit, and like her content is really great. If you go back to her YouTube, you can find the 4 Pillars of Patriarchy. They're long videos, but it's fire. It's good shit to listen to. This is like my heat shield whatever stuff. I almost forgot to put it in because I'm recording, and I don't usually do all that while I don't usually record while I'm like getting ready. This video is about to like run out of time, so I guess I'm gonna make a part 2.